Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are we all doing? Firstly, I just want to know, can you all hear me okay? And could you hear the music okay? It looks like I might be peaking slightly. Let me just turn that down just slightly. Hopefully that's all okay with you all. How are we all doing? Has everybody been having fun? Oh, no. What's going on there? Let me turn that down slightly. Something weird going on. I can see. I don't know if it's affecting you guys out there. I can see the sounds peaking, and distorting. Let me know in the comments what's going on. I'll have a quick look through the comments and we'll come back and find out what we've all been up to. So we've got Oracles out there. Hi, Richard and the allotment family. Hello to you. Ballycillian, looking forward to tonight's show. Hello to you. Idaho Garden Girl. Hello to you. Philly SBB, hello to you, and Ballycillian, hello to you. Lots and lots of comments coming in, and Ernie straight away with a comment. Evening, Richard. Apparently, we are having some frosty nights this week. So he's worried about some of our plants. Are you? Yes, I am sort of worried about some of my plants in the sense that I do try and keep them protected. I haven't planted, apart from onions or potatoes, I haven't planted anything outside. But I know we've been getting temperatures below freezing here, which is very, very rare, especially at this time of year. But I kept all mine all my young plants, my tender plants are in my greenhouse, so they're protected in there. And apart from that, I'm not worried. But what I would say, if you are worried, just keep some fleece to hand and throw it over any of your plants that might be outside, just to add a bit of warmth to them. And what I've also been doing, I'll be moving plants from in here, out to the greenhouse. I've kept them in here just for a little bit longer, just to make sure. I think the end of this week, we're going to get rid of all this bad temperature. So not too bad at the end of the day. Amanda Kirkland has joined us. Hello to you. Julia has joined us. Hello to you. And Hargrave Gas. I will be getting the plant fleece out later. -2 expected, Hargrave, Suffolk. It's certainly turned very, very bitterly cold. Amanda has joined us. Evening, everyone. Just had a quick dash outside to rescue my seedlings from the heavy snow that suddenly appeared in Leeds. I rescued them before the washing, of course. Priorities are, of course, in the right place. Everyone's saying you can hear me okay, so that's great. Fantastic. I was a bit worried when I look at things, and after the trouble we had last week, I thought there might be problems with the sound, but I fixed it. So, Helen Depp, hello everybody. Lovely sun is cooking tonight, so here I am. Lovely to see you. And she's also said she's concerned about how dry it is too. That's a good point. I've noticed just even my ground, my clay soil, it is so dry, it's even started cracking. And that normally only really happens in the middle of summer. I mean, the cracks are getting pretty big on the lawn or anywhere like that. So definitely concerned about how dry it is. I can't remember the last time we had a proper rain coming. We've had a few of the little showers. In fact, we had one earlier today. It's just not enough, is it? It needs a bit more to it to really get things going. So yes, I'm also concerned about how dry it has been, but I have also been out there watering my plants, including my seedlings, and just making sure everything is well watered. It's all we can do. It's all we can do. But I do remember every few years this seems to happen, that every few years we get a dry period in sort of March, April, May, and then June comes and it is normally quite wet. So that's what I'm expecting this year, a wet June. That's my prediction for the year. If anybody else agrees with me, let me know in the comments. Now, of course, as always, you can call in. I'll add that across the bottom if you want to call yourself in, or you can zap yourself in. Let me just get the link ready. Copy, comments. let me get rid of this. I know you can't see what I'm talking about. I've add the link in the comments right now if you want to zap yourself in and appear on screen with myself and have a chat. Even if you want to chat about the weather. I know the weather is a very British thing to talk about, but hey, it's all good. Julia has also noticed her garden is cracking too, so it's not just me. It is not just me. And Digwell, there is a cream egg on top of the clapboard. Is there? Is there? I can't see it. I'll be surprised if there is, because I've eaten them all. Anyway, so how are we all doing? What have we been up to over this last week or since last Sunday in your own allotments and gardens? Been a bit of a chilly one this week, as we seem to be discussing. So I've held off slightly from sowing too many seeds, but I have sown quite a few in the end. I try and tackle myself that I sow it every day. I'm trying to sow a different seed. So I've sown some cucumbers, some butternut squash, some Chinese kale, broccoli, and some courgette. So plenty to do. And I've also pricked out some basil, aubergine, chard, and tomatoes. If you're wondering why I keep looking down, it's because I write everything on a board in order to keep myself remembering what I've been doing. So I've been sowing that. I went down the allotment yesterday and basically clearing out weeds, watering, tidying up, chopping up branches that I've chopped down. Today got the lawnmower out at home, gave the lawn a quick mow, and ended up breaking my lawnmower again. All the belts came off, so I've got to strip it down and pop the belt back on. What else have I been doing? Just check there's no one in the bay. I've been potting up quite a few of my cabbages and cauliflowers as well. Got way too many plants already that I'm virtually on the verge of starting a nursery up by the looks of things. So lots going on here. What about yourself? What have you been up to? You can call in or leave a comment or join me by zapping in. Turbo Stream is saying, I was on the plot this afternoon in warm sunshine while the snow was falling. That must have been a bit of a weird scenario. Now, where I am, it's very rare we even get snow. Very rare. We have our first caller, so I'll come back to that. Hopefully, everybody will be able to hear the caller. Hello, caller. What's your name and where you're calling from?
Oh, hi, Richard. It's Amanda from Leeds.
Hello. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. I was going to write another message in the bar, but I thought I'd just give you a little call. My first call in, actually.
It is. I think we've spoken before, but no, you've never called into the show. What can we do for you today, then?
Well, I think maybe I've started some of my seedlings a little bit early. So I've had, basically my setup is I'm not growing anything in a greenhouse or, at the allotment at the moment. I have just quite a big pop-up greenhouse in the garden at home. And in order to give my seedlings a little bit more heat, I have ended up putting a smaller pop-up greenhouse in a bigger pop-up greenhouse. So the temperature's been about, I'd say 15 degrees, as a very minimum, but up until sort of 20s, mid-20s. So I have also been wrapping cling film or putting them in old poly bags, my seed trays, just to give a little bit of extra heat. So I've had quite a lot of successes with my peas, Brussels, cauliflower, broccoli, onions, that sort of thing. But with my courgettes, chilies, tomatoes, cucumbers and pumpkins, I'm now on my third sow. So I just wondered if you'd got any advice, really, anything else I could do. I was thinking maybe the solution is to get a heated propagator. With the third sow, I have bought them indoors now, and then next to the radiator. But do you have any other suggestions?
when you were are they not germinating at all? Are they just slow?
No. So they're not germinating at all. So I've had sort of quite I guess, complete opposite ends of the spectrum. So one, they're either germinating really well or they're not germinating at all.
Yes, and it sounds like it's the more tender plants that aren't germinating, the peppers, the courgettes.
Yeah.
So what it sounds to me is just a bit too cold for them. So placing them on the radiator is probably the best way in order to kickstart them off and get them going a bit earlier. I do have heated propagators, which I'm a big fan of because they stay in the shed and it keeps the wife happy. But if bringing them indoors, the temperature is going to be pretty warm in there, and certainly get them on the radiator, just give them that bottom heat, which will do them wonders.
Yeah, great. Is there anything else you would suggest? Because with a few of them, so with the pumpkins and the courgettes, I also soak the seeds overnight because I saw online that might be something to try, but I don't know if that was a mistake or not.
Yeah, I can say I've never sown courgette or pumpkin seeds. I've never soaked them overnight. I just put them straight into the soil. Another thing I would suggest is when it comes to watering them, is you mist them instead of pouring a load of water in. So I got a spray bottle, and I just spray that over the surface and mist them.
Great. Okay. Yeah, I have got. I have got a mister, or I have also got just a old milk carton that I've put some holes in the top of the lid, but I have been using that more so, but I'll go back to just the mister. But do you think now if I keep them warmer, I'm obviously more likely to get them germinating if I just keep them inside?
Yes, I would say so. I think, it's about the time to sow these. Quite often, as many of us gardeners do, we try and sow things far too early. In fact, Digwell was sort of saying, and I kind of agree with this, sow pumpkins and courgettes in May, which is, I've started courgettes off, but generally pumpkins and that I won't usually start off till May. Okay,
that's great then. I guess if these don't come up, I'll do another batch in May. That's great. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cheers, bye. There we go. That was our first caller of the night, and off to a great start, actually. I love it when we get these little questions that come in and we can all put our heads together and see what happens. Now, I've seen Carly is having the same problem. Hello to you. Even those in the house. 0 seeds germinate too. What can sometimes happen is if you've used compost, sometimes if the supply is not that reputable, there could be weed killer left inside the compost. It's rare, but I know it has happened. Or something else that I've had. First year I've actually had this problem where I'm getting slugs and snails in the greenhouse. And they are eating the tops off the plants as they germinate. Excuse me. So it could be either of those. Let's have a quick look at the comments because I saw quite a few coming through that time. Digwell was saying, had you going about the cream egg on top of a chalkboard? I didn't think there was one. Shed light not on, though. Never mind the cream egg. I realised that when I went live, and I just don't want to stand up and turn it on now. Nui is joined. Went to Cornwall, did 12 potato buckets, transplanted broad beans, seed planted pepper, tums, cucumber, peas, more broad beans. We did 3 beds and stopped and topped with mushroom. Crikey, you have been very, very busy. Now, Nui 99, as we know, is on the in-between places. She's moving down to Cornwall, which is going to hopefully give her a bigger growing space. Chi has joined us. Hello to you. I have held off sewing as I have been doing 7-day week at work, so tomorrow is catch-up day. Yes, funnily enough, on the podcast, on the main podcast this week, and we've got another caller, so I'll come back to that in just a moment. Hello, caller. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hey, Richard. It's the Origo.
Yes, hello, Oracle. How are you doing, my friend?
I thought you were trying to keep me off the show, or so it was.
No.
2 weeks to bench, you wouldn't let me on.
No, I don't know what has happened, but I think we fixed it tonight. Hopefully everyone can hear you.
Hopefully they can. It's just a quick question. I see it popping up there. Now, the 11th has got a delivery of mushroom compost on its way.
Right.
And I wasn't too sure about putting it in my beds with a lime and maybe fungus on it. I don't know if any of the viewers now has used this mushroom compost before. Are there any advice for it? Or what would you suggest, Richard?
Right. Well, I know a lot of people do use mushroom compost, and it seems to be very, very popular. But I don't use it because I've got a mushroom allergy, so I don't want to take the chance. But I know a lot of other people do use it, and it's meant to be very, very good.
What would they use it on, Richard?
People use it as a mulch on their beds or to build up the soil on raised beds and so on. I know it's got lots and lots of different uses. It
would be dangerous to use if you're going to plant certain plants in it. That's where I'm coming from, your vegetables.
I don't think so, but what we'll do, we'll put that out to everyone in the audience. So Oracle's after, if you use mushroom compost, is it dangerous to use on certain vegetables or any problems with using it? We'll put that out there and see if anybody else who has had more experience with it than what I've had.
That's brilliant, Richard. Thank you very much.
No problem. Sorry, because of this mushroom allergy, I just cannot answer that question.
No worries. I understand, Richard. No worries. Yeah. Thank you. God bless, son. No, God bless.
You take care.
Right.
Cheers. Right, there we go. I think I've just frozen. So what I'm going to do is bring up somebody who we've got in the... is he there? Are you there, Stuart? I can't hear him. It's all gone all tickety-boo again, isn't it? Come on. Stuart, are you there? Or have you frozen as well? Oh, he's bouncing back. Stuart, are you there? What is going on? Oh, no, he's gone. So I can see I've frozen. So let me just try and bring myself back in because that's not a good look for me at all. There we go. And this usually, does this bring it back or is that gone crazy? There we go, we're back. Sorted out. That was not a good look from my perspective. Right. So, yeah, I was just saying about Chi, who's just done a 7-day week. I've had a few people actually contact me who are, let's say, returning back to work, and this has given me a subject for Monday's podcast about some of the tips and tricks that I've developed over the years on how to try and keep on top of everything. So that's coming up on Monday. Idaho Garden Girl. Weather here has been cold and very windy. The cold wouldn't hurt lettuce, but the wind rips it up and desecrates it. So my seedlings are still weak inside. Hopefully weather warming after this week. I think we're all hoping for a bit of better weather this week. Carly Robinson. I've been late starting my seedlings this year, but it was hailing on my plot today, so still cold. Yeah, I think I've adopted this same thing this week, is just holding back and waiting for the weather just to get a little bit warmer and not take the chance. At the end of the day, the way I've always looked at it is we can always grow more plants later on in the year. It's still very, very early at the moment. Have I skipped a load? So Money Boots has joined. Hello to you. And what did I see? Now he is saying there's another vote for mushroom compost. Great also to add to the worm bin. Fantastic. And Amanda, I've used mushroom compost last year and found no issues. I'll be getting some more this year. I don't really know. So I threw it on everything. We've got another call. The phone lines are great tonight. Hello, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, it's Nicola. No.
Oh, well, hello. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good. What can we do for you?
Well, I just thought I'd say hello on live because I put these little comments down, and it's a nightmare having a broken, recovering foot and trying to do gardening.
Yeah.
But just to say to people, what little time you have got, it's amazing what you can get done, even with a broken leg.
Absolutely. I mean, you're in the middle of moving to Cornwall at the same time, aren't you?
Yeah, I had to go down because my car had to stay in Cornwall when I came back with a broken leg, because obviously freshly out of surgery you can't drive, so I had to wait until I could walk on it and then obviously be safe to drive. So the main reason when I went down there was to actually pick my car up, but the garden was just beckoning me. So and I'd put a few broad beans in one of these veggie pod things, so they've got a bit leggy, so I got them out, and just one job leads to another, doesn't it?
Absolutely. That's something I've always found, is that you just start one job, and once you make a start, you suddenly feel invigorated to do more.
Well, unfortunately, there's even though it's a no dig garden, and it's all raised beds, so I've had to put in a lot of green manure and then mushroom compost on top. There was quite a lot of grass growing into the beds in certain areas because not all have got wood sides. Yeah. So there's quite a lot of weeding still to do, but I wanted to get some bits in, obviously the bits that I'd already planted sort of tail end of November, but I wanted to have new bits in, so when I go back down there it just feels like things are happening rather than me missing out on the growing year.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I was the same when I moved to this house.
Yeah, so in the raised beds, I've got debris netting over them because there's quite a lot of wood pigeons down there, obviously, and the odd pheasant as well. So I've got things like chives directly sown and some radish and beetroot directly sown. Normally I do it in modules and then transplant, but I haven't got that luxury at the moment. I've got a few in Brighton. I'm actually going to put in the Brighton garden because I think in the next 8 to 10 weeks before I move, they'll be mature enough that I can harvest and use them. Yeah. And anything that I don't use, I can leave for the new people coming in.
Yeah.
And, I just hope that the spring onions and radish and beetroot, which are fairly hardy, and things like chives and parsley will come up in their own time as it warms up again, because there was snow at Cornwall today. Somebody sent me a picture, so...
Fantastic. Seems to be snow everywhere today, except in our area.
Well, I'm all right in Brighton, but
yeah.
But been collecting free cycle items today, things like compost bins and black dustbins, some with lid, some without. Because I think I told you all my gardening has to be raised because of the amount of arsenic in the soil naturally through all the mining from the sort of 1800s.
Yeah.
So I've been picking up free dustbins that I can then make into huge flower pots for birds to go in.
Yeah, you broke up slightly there. Did you mind just repeating what you said?
What, that I've got black dustbins to make into large flower pots for patio trees?
Yes, sorry. Just so everyone else can
hear you. So what I'm going to do is put in the bottom, I'm going to put land drainage in there, the pipes, put a sump down with compost, and give them about 4 inches of water at the bottom. Yeah. And I will partly sink them into the ground so that they're more stable.
Yeah.
But also they'll have their own reservoir of water within the dustbin.
Yes, good idea. Very good idea.
Well, lovely to speak to you again, Richard. It's just over a year when I first met you at Seed Sunday, wasn't it?
It was, yes. Brighton. Yes, I remember.
And that's when I said to you, I'm hopefully getting this house in Cornwall. It's going up for auction, and
yes,
it actually happened. So yes. Anyway, I'll leave you so you can chat with other people.
Love it. Thank you very much for your phone call. Always a pleasure.
All right. Bye.
Cheers, bye. There we go. It's Nui 99, or I think it was Nikki, or her name was. She's on her way to moving down to Cornwall. We had a chat with her last year when we went to CD Sunday, and she's telling us all about her plans. So it's great to see how it comes into fruition. What else have we got in the comments? So Ballycillian also on the subject of mushroom compost. Spent mushroom compost may not always be truly spent. The mushroom farmer may be just looking to offload it, so better stored for a year before use on beds. Interesting. Now, like I said, I've had no experience with mushroom compost. I've got this horrible mushroom allergy, so I tend to avoid it at all costs. Shame, because I've actually got some quite big mushroom farms just down the road from me, so I could probably go and get lots and lots of compost from there. Right, I've added the link if anybody wants to zap themselves in the comments. If you're watching in the Facebook group, you may not see it come up due to the way Facebook works and what have you. So let's keep checking there's nobody else in there. Ed Loud, on that note, hello to you, is saying lots of calls tonight, really enjoying it. Yeah, this is what it's all about, getting a chat about gardening and everyone to join in. I don't know if I'm getting all the comments at the moment because it seems to have been slowed down, but leave a comment in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are on mushroom compost. Now, I've completely gone and forgotten the subject that I was going to discuss tonight. I knew it was when I started. I didn't write it down, and it's completely gone out of my mind. But I think we'll stick with this mushroom compost and about the seed sowing. If we're going to stick with is it the right time to sow seeds, it'd be interesting to know just what time many people are sowing their seeds. As I think Digwell said, May for courgettes or pumpkins, which is generally when I do it. Same as sweet corns, I'll wait until May for those as well. Tomatoes and chilies I start back in January, but I will sow them right up till about now. Anybody else got any thoughts or suggestions on that? Now, back to the mushroom compost. Digwell, our local mushroom farms, steams the old compost before selling it, so it's perfect as it's pest free. Fantastic. Yeah, that's one way to get rid of it, and I think that's a fantastic use of it. We've got somebody who's just came in. I'm not sure if we're going to see him again. He's zapped himself in. It's Stuart again, but I can't see him on screen. Are you ready, Stuart? Let's find out. Right, Stuart, are you there? Yay! We can hear you.
I'm there, mate. I'm there.
Yeah. How you doing?
I don't know what happened last time. It just crashed on me. I'm doing fine, mate. Yeah, doing fine. Just wanted to really call and say thank you for the seeds. They have been amazing.
So
cucumbers.
Yeah.
11 out of 12.
11 out of 12. Yeah. Yeah, I've only just sown mine the other day, so we'll see how they get on. So to everyone watching who don't know what Stuart's on about, Stuart's a member of my podcast supporters club. £5 a month, you get extra podcasts, mostly podcasts. I do sometimes videos and stuff, but also each month I send out at least 6 packets of seed each month. Stuart's a member, and it's kept him very, very busy.
Yeah. So tell me about it.
Yeah.
Turning me into a veg garden, mate.
That's the idea. That's the idea, indeed. So this is a question I've got for you, Stuart, actually, because I know you sell a lot of plants outside your front of your house, and you've been doing it for a number of years. Yeah. How you do it for charity and you earn a lot of money, but how did people know to come to your house to buy these plants in the first place?
Social media. It goes on the local Facebook. Yeah, local Facebook groups. I find it on there. I didn't initially. I've only started selling from my house. I did it last year because of lockdown, and I did it a little bit the year before. but I normally do plant sales, and because of COVID, I had all these plants, nothing to do, couldn't, you know, so I just stuck them outside and then put it on Facebook, and it's been amazing. The response has been really good. I've done about, I don't know, this year I've cleared 250 already this year, and it's only been out a fortnight. So
£250.
Yeah. Some days you don't get anything. Some days you get, like Wednesday or Thursday, one day in the week, I've got 40 quid. But it's a slow burner at the moment. You're probably the same. You've got a lot of seedlings in the greenhouse that are not quite ready to go out. And I know if I put them on the table, people will buy them and put them in the garden. And then frost to come and kill them all. So I'm trying to pace it. So everything that's out at the moment is, you know, things like peas, broad beans, things that you can put in as long as you put a bit of cover over them. But then as time goes on, it'd be more delicate stuff like tomatoes, cucumbers, melons. I'm growing melons for the first time. And I've had lots of. I suppose I'm lucky because I've got a heated greenhouse, and I've got a polytunnel at school, and I've got a big utility room with a boiler in that's flat that I can put the trays on. It's like a heated propagator.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. My boiler is sat on the floor, so I put this 3 trays on there, especially things like that need a little bit of heat, like your cucumbers, melons, tomatoes. They need a little bit of heat, and then everything else comes on in the greenhouse. Yeah,
great. Now, Adrian is asking, do you get lots of feeding from your plant stall?
I get a little bit. It's called an honesty box, and I think I make more money from the honest people that compensates for the people that don't put the right amount of money in. I've lost my money box once in 3 years, and I check it.
Right.
If I'm at home, I'll check it 5-6 times a day. Or if somebody's in the living room, they can see it. If I know somebody's been there, I will go and empty. So it just takes the temptation away. But I made over £1,000 last year. So if I've lost a few plants, does it really matter? You know, at least they're gardening.
Yeah, of course.
But you will get the odd person that takes something that's priced at, say, £2 and put £1 in. You just accept it. You just not got to get stressed about it.
Yeah, sure.
Because it definitely goes the other way. Yeah, and I think more of us will do it because that's what's great about your club. You only get the seeds you need. But if you buy a packet of lettuce seeds, only seeds are in a packet of lettuce. You know, you only need 25 or 30. You don't need the other 970 in the packet.
Yeah.
So, and if you do what you do, you've got all your seeds. How many of you get close to this, sell by date or sowing date? So you might as well sow them when they're, and then give them away. Or sell them or whatever.
That's exactly what I'm adopting at the moment, to just sow the whole packet, and if I have it, whatever's left over, I'll get rid of. I've frozen again, haven't I?
Yeah, but I can still hear you. You're still talking. Right, and I think... I'll go and let you sort your problems out.
Oh, no, you keep talking.
Okay. You sort your end out, I'll keep talking. Yeah, just do it. If you've got excess of plants and if your neighbours don't garden, just put them on a table outside your front door. You can either put for free or you can put a little donation box there. It can be for charity, it could be for your seeds next year, or give them to a local school, or a gardener that perhaps needs a little bit of help at the beginning. You know, the first time gardeners. There's a lot of us out there. And it's things like your podcast that is spurring people on, and so, you're back.
I'm back. I fixed it.
Yeah.
I fixed it. It keeps happening. Yeah. It's obviously saying I'm going to have to service this computer later. What containers do you sell your plants in, Stuart?
Paper pots. Lots of them.
You sell them in paper pots?
No, I sell it. I put them into plastic. I do put them into plastic,
Right.
but I try to get rid of all the pots that I don't want, all the black ones, all the ones that you can't recycle. So I get rid of them.
Yeah.
But I tend to use square ones because you can get more in a tray.
Yeah.
But I use anything. But I've sown carrots, parsnips in paper pots, and then I've put the whole thing in the ground, so it just saves a little bit of I don't know, saves the will, but it saves me money. I'm only using the newspaper that we'll chuck away anyway. So
Yeah.
and I'm like you, I've got clay soil, so parsnips don't like germinating in clay soil. So if you start them off in a paper pot, you can just drop them straight in the ground. Gives them a head start.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, that's quite informative.
Well, I'm learning from everybody else. You know, I grow flowers, as you know. I you know, I can do loads of that. But the vegetables are a little bit more. It's like tomatoes. My tomatoes have taken ages to germinate this year, ages. But they're there, but they've just taken ages.
Yeah.
So but then I don't know if I sowed them too early and it was too cold. So I'm still learning.
It's possible, but what you'll find in the next few weeks, they'll suddenly just shoot on.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll catch up. But the thing about if you're selling plants is don't be guided by the garden centre prices. Just cover your costs. Because my plants, the dearest one is £4 is a hellebore, which is like a Christmas rose. And if you buy it in the garden centre, it's £13. I charge £4.
Yeah.
All I want to do is cover my costs and make the charity some money.
Yeah, of course.
So.
Fantastic. That's given us all food for thought. Digwell is agreeing with you about who needs 500 cabbages. Completely right. Who does need 500 cabbages?
Yeah, I think we need to communicate more with the gardeners in each area, you know, your own area, because one of you could plant cabbages, one of you could do Brussels sprouts, and then just swap plants.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Fantastic. That's great. Thank you very much for that, Stuart.
That's all right, mate. I'll let you go. Somebody else can call in.
Yeah. Well, we're getting lots of conversation going on tonight, so it's great.
Great. Right. I'll speak to you soon, mate. Take care.
Yep. You take care. Cheers.
All right. Bye.
Right. Let me just kick him from the studio, as they call it. Guess, there we go. And that should bring me back. There we go. There seems to be a slight connection issue tonight, but we'll worry about that another time. Digwell is also saying councils do not want black plastic pots and trays, etc., because they can only be recycled into black plastic items. Now there, I'm trying to see if I've got one. That was a conversation I had, I think it was about 18 months ago, with somebody who had been to a HTA meeting, and they were basically moving on to like these grey, taupey coloured pots, because the black pots, when they go through the recycling machines, don't get picked up. It's only these grey sort of taupe coloured pots, which I don't think, no, I haven't got any in here to show you what I'm on about. Since I found that, I have made a note it to myself to only really try and buy plants that come in this taupe coloured, but I think all plants will be coloured in that for that very reason. She is saying, such a treat to come in and find my supporters mail out in the mail. I'm so excited each time I receive it, and the growing tips getting things I wouldn't usually think to try. So that's another member of my supporters club here. I don't try and advertise my supporters club so much on here, but what seeds do you send out on your podcast group? Basically, it's seeds that can be sown that month is how I work it out. So in April's, trying to remember what we sent out courgettes, there was some French beans, there was I can't remember what, dill, There's some carrots. There's two more cucumbers, and one more which I'm not going to remember just yet. So if it comes to me, I'll let you know. But each month, basically, I try and keep it different and try and make sure that it can. I've set it up that we can only sow those those seeds can only be sown in that month. So it's tailored, if you like. Snooey, can use as small leaves from cabbages or Brussels sprouts. It's where you get 500. Actually, that's something I used to do. I didn't do it this year, but if I would put in a row of cabbages, I would over winter, I'd put them in a lot closer than normal, and then when I thin them out, I would use the thinnings as like spring cabbages. That way, I've got get two crops out of that same area. That's the way I break it down. Adrian's saying it would pee me off if I found somebody nicked from my efforts. I've got to admit, it would annoy me, but I think sometimes you've just got to be a bit thick-skinned sometimes. It's unless you have a dedicated shop, you're not going to be able to monitor these things very well. This is literally just to stand outside your house, and there are, as wrong as it is, there are people out there who want something for nothing. It was kohlrabi. That's it. The seventh one was kohlrabi. Yes, that does sound right. Oracle, how do you join the club? Head to the veggrowpodcast.co.uk and click on join the supporters members club. That's the veggrowpodcast.co.uk. Lots and lots of chat. This is great. I love it when we get lots of chat. It tells me there's lots. Everyone wants to chat about gardening. So, Helen, does anyone have a source of high quality, rigid module trays? I have some and they're wonderful, but I can't find them anymore. I hate the flimsy ones that end up in landfill after one season. Totally with you with that. There's one shop that begins with W and is in most high streets that sells the flimsy ones. I bought them, but I hate them because they are so flimsy. I much prefer. They're not my root trainers. They're expensive. I think you get about 2 trays for 10 quid. And they are fairly flimsy. These have started to rip and split, but these are 4 years old now. They are fantastic. I find them to be anyway. But I've set them up in my greenhouse. I've got the shelves that's made for those, so they just drop in and everything fits really well. That's from Hacknick's Root Trainers. And I've just brought from a garden centre the ones that Charles Dowding uses. And I can't remember what they're called, who makes them or anything. Again, they're about £10 for one tray of 24. But they seem to be a bit more rigid, and they've actually designed them to have a wicking tray, but also like a little prongs underneath. So when you want to take your plants out, you push it down, and it pushes all your plugs out of this little tray. I think that I haven't tested them yet to see how rigid they are, but I think there's something quite clever about them and thought of. So I'll have to find that out, but if you go and check Charles Dowding, he's got some that he recommends as well, and I think he's pretty good at that. Or as Digwell says, container wise, there's another option of somewhere to go and check out. Well, seeing as everyone seems to be pushing my stuff today, I'm going to have to. Ian has brought one of my hoodies on today, cold, but they are warm, and he was well chuffed with it. So I also sell hoodies and stuff like that as well, and mugs, which I drink from quite often. So yeah, that's all on the veggrowpodcast.co.uk. So I don't I'm not very good at. I'm a rubbish salesman when it comes to things like this, but I do believe in quality and good products that last. Okay. Here we go. So Nigel knows exactly what I'm talking about. The prong ejectors were copied from Agrelin plug plant trainers. There we go. I knew somebody out there would know what I'm talking about. I can't remember if they're made by Agrelin, but they're probably made by the same people, just sold under different names, in all honesty. I think I've yet to use mine, but I like the idea of them being able to pop out. Somebody's thought about that, and I think that's a fantastic way to go. It's the same with these root trainers. You know, I've used these for years. I think they are expensive. What I tend to do is every year just buy a couple more so I can keep them going. But they've worked so well for me in training those roots and getting those good plug plants. And I found also, if you know how it's, you take cuttings or something, you want to see how the roots are, but you know, if you lift it out of the pot, it's going to ruin the roots. Well, I find with these, I've got to do a video about this actually. You just open it up, you can see it, close it, and you don't disturb the roots. It's another reason that I quite like those. They are a bit on the flimsy side, especially after 5 years. So everybody that helped with that question from Helen, thank you. I will check them out. That's fantastic. Fantastic. This is what I love. We can all join in and have a chat like this. Now, a question I was asked earlier today, actually, this brings, I know we've only got just over 10 minutes to go. Question that I was asked earlier today is, what type of organic plant food do you recommend for the likes of chilies or tomatoes? Now, my answer to that straight away was to use my worm feed or worm wee, you might call it. The stuff that comes out, God, my phone's busy tonight. The stuff that comes out of my wormery, it's sort of rotted goodness. It's the only way I can call it. But my second option, or my third option, sorry, the other one was comfrey tea. My second one was organic tomato feed from someone like Neudorf. I've not actually used it. I've had this for a couple of years now. Not even attempted that stuff, but I've got so many bottles of the stuff. It just seems to build up. Has anyone else got any good suggestions for anything like that? Any good feed? Like that. Sorry, hang on. Have I got that? Sorry. It's so slow tonight. Adrian is saying we should have longer than 1 hour. Well, funny enough, my wife said exactly that last week after we finished. But we might try and do longer than an hour in the future if there's enough demand and what have you. It's just 7 o'clock is a nice time to finish because then I can go have my bath, make my lunch for work, and get an early night ready for work. We might do longer. We might do longer than an hour because it always seems like we get right into a conversation and it carries on. Digwell seaweed feed, which, funnily enough, I've also got some of that. There we go. Also from Neudorf. I tend to use that when their plants are younger. So again, fantastic use. Buster seed trays are great. So that's another seed tray rigid. I know what you mean by them not being rigid and they break apart easily. It annoys me to hell when things don't last. Just seems very, very wasteful. Wormwee or comfrey. Yeah, that's another great one. Wormwee or comfrey. Sorry, I'm laughing because I've seen a comment there. I'll come to in a minute. Seaweed extract. God, this is so slow tonight. Yeah, seaweed extract. That's another good one. Adrian's saying, let's start at 5 then. Yeah. So we got Nui. Irish design. Strips that come apart, sturdy, not cheap, but should last years. Yeah, actually, I just remembered that I've seen something for sale as well. That means that basically compresses compost. I've yet to try them. I'm interested if anybody out there has tried them. Compress compost and then use that, so you're not actually using any pot. You've just got a solid, like a jiffy cube, in order to sow plants into. Not tried them. I've seen them. I'm a bit unsure about whether that's going to work or not. I've frozen again, haven't I? This is the comment I said was making me laugh. That wasn't the chat. Yes, it was the chat. End of last week's show. Some reason with the microphone trouble we had. Come on. No. The microphone trouble we had last week, it seemed to keep playing after I closed. And what Amanda and I were, oh, come on. So I'm getting frustrated with my computer tonight. Come on. It keeps... Amanda and I was chatting afterwards, and everyone heard what we were saying. Here we go. Here we go. Should be able to get rid of this now. So, yeah, I'm going to have to service my computer later on because it's getting stuck and a bit mistimed. Money Boots has came up with, you can buy the spare root trainers books from Amazon and eBay. I've got 5 sales per book. If the cell frame breaks, the books fit well into the blue. The books fit well into blue mushroom trays. I didn't know you could actually just buy the books. I thought they came with the trays as well. So that's also very, very useful to know, because the trays, let me show you what I mean. These are the trays, and they fit in like that sort of thing. These trays are very, very, very solid. They've lasted really well. It's the books themselves that seem to break a bit too easy. So I will look on Amazon, as Nigel says, and try and get some replacements of those. I fill a mesh bag with goat poo and soak it in a water but for rocket fuel plant food. Fantastic. Yeah, I haven't got any goats, and I don't think the person that's asking me has got goats, but that's a fantastic idea. I think chicken, we can do that with chicken poop and horse manure as well. Soil blockers, that's the word I was looking for. Soil blockers. No doubt, Nigel, you've probably used them. What were they like as well? Ian has also said Nettle Tea. That's another good one, like the goat poo. Haven't made Nettle Tea in ages. I remember when I was a kid, I actually made Nettle Tea by a little Panda Pop bottle that I brought from school. You know, remember when Panda Pops was all the thing, filled with water and nettles, and I left it on the windowsill for months. There was nothing of the nettles left, but the water just became this brilliant green food. I used it on my cactus at the time. Fantastic stuff. It really was. I bought the first version, and the outer trays were that seemed replied to a comment that was said earlier. In reply to the soil blockers, need to get a compost mixture just right, moisture just right for the soil to stay intact. That's what I sort of thought. If they dry out, they'll probably fall apart. So that's what I thought with those. That's why I've avoided using them. Digwell just brought 24 new books for the root trainers. I'm going to do that as soon as I finish tonight. I'm going to go and order some. I saw on that's Charles Dowding talking about something. Stuart, right? Yeah, 4 minutes. I just got a friend that gets me mushroom trays and foam boxes for planting in. Ask at your local supermarket for both. Or go and they're open outside from tomorrow's restaurants. The mushroom trays, they often have mushrooms delivered into them into restaurants, and they end up just throwing them in the bin. And the same as the big polystyrene boxes that I tend to use for my leeks. They also get thrown in a bin. Go have a word with a local restaurant, find out what they do with them. They come in so many uses in a garden. Runoff from the wormery is a good feed. Yep, that's exactly what I use. That's my only disappointment with the sub pod when I put it in is I didn't realise until I've read afterwards you can actually add a little pipe to get that runoff with the sub pod. So when I get my next one, I'm going to add that as well because I do love the liquid feed that we get from these things. I've got bottles and bottles of it, to be honest. A US gardener, Steve Connick, just did a video on starting seeds that demonstrates using a soil blocker. He talks about the moisture, etc. His YouTube channel is Nature's Ways. Nature's Always Right. I should check that out once I've finished. So that's these soil blockers. I've seen them advertised a lot, and I keep umming and ahhing about getting some. So if people seem to rate them, and it's less waste, God knows I hate waste, it's got to be a good thing. Great chat tonight. Everyone been so helpful. That's why gardening is so great. Absolutely. It's been a fantastic chat tonight. Absolutely loved it. It's been great having all the phone calls, people zapping themselves in and adding the comments. And Ian Beddoes, who certainly in our Facebook group is a bit of a joker. I like things that last. My jukebox is from 1836. By jukebox, I can't remember the name of it, but it's the type of thing you would hear at a steam fair. You wind up and it plays. I can't not remember what it's called. Ian, put it in the comments. But you're right. Things that last. It's definitely where we need to spend our money, in my opinion. Oh, hang on. No, I was trying to get rid of that. Definitely where we should be spending our money on things that last and make it worthwhile. Well, I'm going to start wrapping up for tonight. I know some of you want me to go on for longer. We will look into that and see what we can do in the future and see if we can get this conversation going and chatting a lot more. I'm going to be bringing back the photo videos. So if anybody has any photos that they want to share on... that's exactly what it is, Helen. Hurry-gurdy. If anybody has any photos that they want to share on this live show, then please either paste them in the Facebook group or send them to me via email, richard@theveggiegrowerpodcast.co.uk. And something I've wanted to do, and apart from, I've forgotten his name right now, I can picture him. He's a good friend of mine, and I've forgotten his name. I hate it. This is a brain damage, what it does to you, forget people's names. Anybody wants to send any videos for me to play in to start a conversation off, then we can do that. I have the ability to do that. Again, you send it to me via email, richard@theveggiegrowerpodcast.co.uk, but you need to send the video via wetransfer.com. Just pop my email address and send it into there. And it's nice and sorted, and we can play those in this show. And the idea, of course, is to get people chatting and having a conversation, and that's what it's all about. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining me for the last hour. We'll be back again next Sunday, same veg time, same veg place, and hopefully I will have speeded up my computer a bit faster because I can see it's juddering about again. Well, guys, thanks so much again. See you all next time.